Hey guys, Limo here, welcome to another super awesome video. Today we're doing the second episode and the first for 2018 AFL season of Limo's Tips. Currently, the AFL ladder, after round 4, 2018, looks a little something like this. The West Coast second. Can they say that though? I do not think so. Not for the rest of the season anyway. So, today we're going to be talking about Essendon versus Collingwood. Essendon currently 11th, Collingwood currently 10th. Both moved up 2 places, I believe, after the end of round 3, with Collingwood beating an subpar Adelaide by 48 points in horrible conditions over at Adelaide Oval at the Fortress. While Essendon, after a horror week against the Bulldogs, came back and beat the ladder leaders and the only undefeated team after the first 3 rounds by 22 points over at Etihad Stadium in our first home game since round 1. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about who we think the teams are going to be. So the teams won't be announced for a while now because although the AFL usually starts on Friday, since it's Atlantic Day, our game will be on Wednesday. Another thing you've got to remember is that the teams that I do not know who will be selected. I'm just basing off current form off of the injury list for both teams. Currently, Gleeson would be probably one of the best defenders in Essendon, and one of the best tall defenders in the competition, full stop. He's so underrated. But he's injured until about round 12, so we can't... he's out with an ankle injury. He's been out since around the JLT series. So we're going to be talking about my predicted team list for both teams. I don't really know Collingwood very well, so we touch and go there. The fantasy, who I think will get the most fantasy points based on current form, who needs to lift, the 6 points. I'll also be doing something. I'll be showing footage of both Jake Stringer and Brody Grundy's goals, and finally I'll also be talking about who I think will win, why, the margin, and a few other things, and also what win and I've also mean for both teams. So this is the ladder, or just go to a4.com.au/ladder. And before I start, also let me just say, after uploading this, I was looking at a copy on my computer, and if someone gives me a copyright flag, I will send it to the AFL and to YouTube to ask them to remove the copyright flag, because I have said all video, all the footage belongs to the AFL. Other people like Croft and DW29392 whatever have done it and they've been copyright flagged, so I should be able to as well. So again, all video footage belongs to the AFL. Don't get me wrong.
Okay, so guys, we're going to look at Jake Stringer's dribbling goal led in the 4th quarter, Essendon versus Port Adelaide last week on Sunday. Let's get into it.
Chambers again, he had Myers in mind, and here's Parrish again, comes with a surge. Stringer from one side, Danaher from the other. Stringer makes the take. He's working, it's working! It's all working for Jake Stringer! He's a bomber now!
Okay, so that goal was pretty good by Jake Stringer. After crossing from the Bulldogs to the Bombers, he'd kicked, 1 or 2 goals in his first 3 matches, but then he kicked 4 goals and returned to stellar form. He kicked 56 goals in 2015, was an All-Australian forward, and then kicked 42 goals in the Premiership year for the Bulldogs. Now let's hope he can continue this run against Collingwood and eventually against the rest of the teams and send us to the finals, 2nd year in a row.
Same message from Taylor Walker, who just said to his teammates up the field, just settle it down. Treloar to Grundy, back to Treloar. Once again, Collingwood working into space better. Varco this time, brilliant tap onto Grundy, releases the big man. He crosses the 50 from 48 metres, goes himself!
Okay, now let's look at the recent history between these 2 teams. Essendon won both games against Collingwood last year, the first time they had won twice against Collingwood in the year since 2005. Rousey Fantasia kicked 5 goals in the second match, which Essendon won by 37 and round 17. and then kicked 4 in the Essendon match in round 5, which was an 18-point victory for the Bombers. So Essendon have won the last 2. Collingwood won 1 in 2016, which is a comprehensive victory by more than 60 points. And Essendon won late in 2015 with a 3-point victory that was controversial. And then Collingwood won with 20 points on Anzac Day in 2015. So it's 3 wins. Essendon holding more advantage since the start of 2015. There was also 1 win each in 2014 and 1 win each in 2013, as far as I'm aware. Essendon had not won an Anzac Day match. Going into last year's clash, Essendon had not won an Anzac Day clash since 2013, and before then since 2009. Both of them were due to David Zaharakis' heroics. Now, David Zaharakis, who kicked 4 goals in the 2013 match to win the Anzac Day medal, along with his 34 disposals. Essendon are good with playing against teams they're not supposed to beat, but they struggle with playing teams that they are supposed to beat, like the Bulldogs or like Fremantle. But anyway, that's the recent history for the teams. Now let's look at the predicted team list for Wednesday for both teams. So our team selection is as follows. The players that are pictured in order. So Andrew McGrath, Bagley, Hurley is our fullbacks. Our halfbacks will be made up of Goddard, Sard and Myers. Our midfield is Parrish, Heppel and Zach Merritt. Ruckman are made up of Tom Bottoms as the Ruckman. The Rock Rover will be Zaharakis and the Rover will be Green. Forward line will be made up of Stewart, Danaher, Fantasia, Fridge, the Happy Little Hooker and Stringer. So the interchange is made up of players like Anthony McDonald and Woody, maybe Mitch Brown. I haven't put the images in there because this is just my starting 18. So that's what I have for you for Essendon's team, and now on to Collingwood's team. Okay, so I don't want to show you guys the disgusting Collingwood players, so I'm going to read out who I think will be in for next match. So Taylor Adams was injured at the end of round 3, so he was out. So Jordan Goey could still be in. Brodie Grundy will be the ruckman, as mentioned before. Law, he's a good ruck rover. Josh Thomas, well, I think he was one that kicked 5 goals in one of his first matches, so I don't know, because I don't follow Collingwood. But I think Crocker, Varco, James Ash, DeGoey, Thomas, and Will Hoskinelli will be a good forward line, while Ben Reid would probably be a good ruck rover or rover. Jack Crisp, Sam Murray, Lyndon Dunn, Matthew Scharenberg, Braden Maynard, and Jeremy Howe will be a good backline. Jeremy Howe with some flying marks last year. Centre will be Steel Sidebottom, the captain Scott Pendlebury and Tom Phillips. And the interchange will be made up of players like Tom Langdon, Callum Brown, Jaden Stephenson, and I don't know. Okay, as I said, I don't follow Collingwood, but that's my predicted lineup for Collingwood. Obviously, that will not be the exact lineup, but hopefully it was close because I do not follow Collingwood and I hate Collingwood with a passion, as all Essendon supporters do.